Apologize to my father for bleeding on his floor, or get out of this family forever. Those are your only options, Sophia. My husband Marcus stood over me as I held a cloth napkin to my bleeding nose, his father's fist having just connected with my face over an accidental wine spill at his 65th birthday party. But what neither of them knew was that I'd been the anonymous buyer who'd purchased their family company's debt 3 months ago, and the eviction notices for both their homes were already signed and waiting in my lawyer's briefcase in the car. The country club's private dining room had fallen silent. 43 guests in their cocktail attire stared as blood dripped through my fingers onto the Italian marble floor. My father-in-law, Richard Blackwood, shook out his hand like punching his daughter-in-law was merely an inconvenience to his knuckles. "Did you hear me?" Marcus's voice was ice. "Apologize. Now." You ruined his birthday and his limited edition shirt. I looked up at my husband of 7 years through tears and blood. The man who'd vowed to protect and cherish me. The man now demanding I apologize for being assaulted by his father. "I accidentally knocked over a glass," I said, my voice muffled by the napkin. "And he punched me in the face." "You shouldn't have been so clumsy," Richard sneered, dabbing at the red wine stain on his white silk shirt. "This shirt cost more than you make in a month at your pathetic little job." My pathetic little job. The one they all mocked at every family gathering. The cute hobby of being a financial advisor. None of them knew that my hobby had made me wealthy enough to buy their entire world. "Marcus, I tried once more. Your father just—" "I saw what happened," he cut me off. "You embarrassed him at his own party. You know how clumsy you are. You should have been more careful." I stood slowly, my legs shaking. Around the room, Marcus's relatives watched with expressions ranging from shock to smug satisfaction. His mother, Patricia, sipped her champagne as if nothing had happened. His sister Diane actually smiled. "So," I said, still pressing the napkin to my nose, "you want me to apologize for being punched?" "For causing a scene," Marcus corrected. "For ruining the party. For disrespecting my father. And if I don't—" His eyes went cold. "Then you can leave. And don't bother coming home." I looked around the room one more time. At the Blackwood family and their friends. People who'd spent 7 years treating me like an outsider, like hired help who'd somehow tricked their precious Marcus into marriage. People who had no idea their entire financial house of cards was about to collapse. "Okay," I said simply. "I'll leave." "Good," Richard said, pouring himself more wine. "And take your mess with you. Though I suppose we can't expect better from someone of your background." My background? Foster kid. Scholarship student. Someone who'd clawed her way up from nothing. Unlike the Blackwoods, who'd inherited their wealth and spent the last decade squandering it. I walked out with as much dignity as I could manage, blood still dripping from my nose. Not one person tried to stop me. Not even my husband. In the parking lot, I sat in my modest Honda, another thing they mocked me for, and made 3 phone calls. The first was to my lawyer, Elizabeth Hartley. "Sophia? Isn't it Richard's birthday party?" "Execute the papers," I said simply. "All of them. Tonight. Are you sure? Once we do this." Richard just punched me in the face for spilling wine. "Marcus told me to apologize or leave the family. I'm leaving." "Oh, honey. Are you okay? Do you need medical attention?" "I need you to destroy them, Liz. Legally. Completely. Everything we prepared. Consider it done. The notices will be delivered within the hour." The second call was to my business partner, James Chun. "Sophie? You sound strange." "Begin the takeover," I interrupted. "Blackwood Industries. Execute all the stock options we've been accumulating. I want controlling interest by market open Monday." That's a hostile takeover of your husband's family company." "Yes." "Sophie, what happened? They showed me who they really are. Now I'm showing them who I really am." The third call was the hardest. Dr. Patricia Reeves, my therapist. "Sophia? It's late. I'm leaving Marcus," I said, and suddenly I was crying. "I'm finally leaving." "What happened?" I told her. The wine. The punch. The ultimatum. The blood still drying on my dress. "Come to my office," she said immediately. "We'll document the injury, call the police." "No police. I have a better way to handle this." "Revenge isn't healing, Sophia." "It's not revenge," I said. "It's justice. And self-respect. I'll see you Monday for our regular appointment." I drove home. My real home. Not the Blackwood mansion I'd been living in, but the penthouse downtown that I'd bought under my company's name. Marcus didn't even know it existed. Just like he didn't know about the $14 million I'd accumulated, or the investment firm I'd built, or the fact that I'd been secretly buying up his family's debts for months. By the time I'd showered and changed, my phone showed 23 missed calls. I ignored them all and poured myself a glass of wine, a better vintage than anything the Blackwoods served, despite their pretensions. At exactly 9 p.m., my phone rang again. Marcus. I let it go to voicemail and listened to the message. Sophia, what the hell did you do? There are people here saying we have 24 hours to vacate the house. Dad's having chest pains. Call me back now. Then Richard's voice screaming in the background. That little bitch. I'll kill her. More voicemails followed. Patricia. You conniving little gold digger. How dare you? Diane. Seriously? You're this petty over a little tap. Marcus again. Sophia, I don't know what you think you're doing, but you're making a huge mistake. Come home and fix this. Home. They wanted me to come home now. Now that their house was being taken. Now that consequences were knocking at their door. My lawyer called at 10 p.m. It's done. Notices delivered to the Blackwood estate, Richard and Patricia's home, and Diane's condo. The company takeover will be announced Monday morning. Also, I've frozen the joint accounts as per the prenup clause about domestic violence. They hit you with a prenup to protect their money. Liz had laughed when we'd first met. But they never bothered to read what I added to protect you. By 11 p.m., my phone showed 68 missed calls. I turned it off and went to bed in my own place, in sheets that didn't smell like Marcus's cologne or his family's judgment. I woke at 6 a.m. to someone pounding on my penthouse door. Security called up. It was Marcus, demanding to be let in. Send him up, I said. But have someone standing by. He burst in looking haggard, still in his rumpled suit from the party. What did you do? I left, I said calmly, sipping my coffee. Like you told me to. I meant leave the party, not destroy my family. Oh! I set down my cup. Was that not clear? When you told me to apologize for being assaulted or get out of the family, I thought you were being quite specific. You bought our debt? You're taking our homes? Our company. Technically, I bought the debt 3 months ago. I've been holding it, hoping things would get better between us. Hope's a funny thing, isn't it? This is illegal. This is business. Your family's been hemorrhaging money for years. Failed investments, Richard's gambling, your mother's shopping addiction, Diane's husband's embezzlement that you all covered up. You're broke, Marcus. You've been broke. I've been the only thing keeping you afloat. His face went white. What are you talking about? I pulled out my phone and showed him bank statements. The mortgage payments for the last 2 years? Me. The bailout when your dad's gambling debts came due? Me. The hush money to keep Diane's husband out of jail? Me. $2.3 million total. That's impossible. You work at a tiny firm. I own the firm, Marcus. Have for 3 years. That pathetic little job your father mocked? I manage a portfolio worth over $500 million. He sank into a chair. Why didn't you tell me? Because every time I tried to talk about work, your family laughed at me. Called me a little secretary playing with numbers. So I stopped talking and started buying. Sophia, please. We can work this out. Can we? Tell me, what did you do when your father punched me? He was upset. What? Did you? Do? I told you to apologize. Your father made me bleed, and you took his side. In 7 years of marriage, you've always taken their side. When your mother called me trash, you said I was being too sensitive. When Diane wore white to our wedding, you said I should be flattered. When your father tried to get me to sign over my inheritance from my grandmother, you said I was being selfish. That's different. It's not. It's a pattern. And I'm done being the only one who sees it. So you're destroying us out of spite? I'm taking back what's mine. The debt I bought, purchased with money I earned. The company shares, bought on the open market. Your family destroyed themselves. I'm just collecting what I'm owed. What do you want? An apology? Fine. I'm sorry. I wanted a husband who would protect me, who would stand up for me, who would see his father assault me and call the police, not demand I apologize for bleeding. Sophia, my lawyer will send the divorce papers Monday. The prenup your family insisted on? It has a clause about domestic violence. Since you witnessed the assault and did nothing, you're considered complicit. I get half of everything plus damages. Half of nothing, apparently, he said bitterly. Half of what you thought was nothing. Turns out there's quite a bit in your name that your family didn't know about. Hidden assets your father transferred to avoid creditors. It's all in the forensic accounting report. He stood, his face ugly with rage. For a moment, he looked exactly like his father. You planned this? No, I said sadly. I planned a life with you. A real partnership. Children who would grow up seeing their mother respected. This is plan B. The plan I hoped I'd never need. No one will ever love you like I did. God, I hope not. Your love left bruises, Marcus. Not physical ones like your father's, but bruises all the same. He stormed out, slamming the door. I knew he'd go running back to his family, tell them everything. They'd scheme and plot and threaten. But it was too late. Monday morning, the financial news exploded. Hostile takeover of Blackwood Industries by Phoenix Capital. My phone rang. An unknown number. You think you've won? Richard's voice was venomous. I'll destroy you. I'll tell everyone what you are. A nobody. Foster trash who got lucky. Tell them, I said. Tell them how Foster Trash built an empire while you squandered yours. Tell them how a nobody bought your company with the money you said she'd never have. Tell them whatever you want. But tell them from your new apartment, because you have 6 hours to vacate my property. Your property, check the deed, Richard, has been in my company's name for 6 months. I've been letting you live there out of respect for Marcus. But since your son made it clear I'm not family, I see no reason to continue the arrangement. I hung up and blocked the number. The divorce was finalized in 3 months. Marcus contested everything, but the prenup his family had insisted on was airtight, with my additions. The domestic violence clause, the financial disclosure requirements, the penalty clauses for hiding assets. I gave him the house we'd shared. Sold it, actually, for $1. Let him have that reminder of our life together. Everything else, the hidden accounts, the transferred assets, the shares in family shell companies, came to me. The Blackwoods tried to rebuild, but without their company, without their homes, without their reputation, they had nothing. Richard's gambling debts came due. Patricia's credit cards were canceled. Diane's husband was indicted for embezzlement without the family money to protect him. And Marcus? He took a job at a small firm downtown. I heard he was doing well, working hard for the first time in his life. Maybe losing everything taught him what I'd tried to show him, that respect is earned, not inherited. A year later, I was at a charity gala when I saw him across the room. He looked different, humbler maybe. Our eyes met, and he started toward me. Sophia. Marcus. You look. He paused. You look happy. I am. I'm sorry, he said. Not for the money or the company. For that night. For not protecting you. For all of it. Thank you. Do you think? He stopped, shook his head. Never mind. Take care, Sophia. You too, Marcus. I watched him walk away and felt nothing but peace. No anger. No satisfaction. No regret. That night at his father's birthday, I'd spilled wine on a silk shirt. Richard had punched me. Marcus had told me to apologize or leave. So I left. And in leaving, I found myself. Sometimes the best apology is walking away. Sometimes the best revenge is success. And sometimes the family you choose, the life you build from nothing, is worth more than the one you married into. The wine stain probably came out of Richard's shirt. The blood never came out of my dress. I kept it as a reminder. The night I bled was the night I became free.